Urban legends about Eastern Europe.
Vampires, ghosts, demons, a combination that might sound like something out of a classic horror film. But some of these creatures are real. In some places, in and around Eastern Europe, there are legends that are sometimes stranger than the rest. So let's go and discover them.
The Strigoi.
Strigoi are creatures similar to vampires. They are considered the spirits of people who have died violent or impure deaths, condemned to roam the earth in search of blood. Can you imagine that when you die, your soul doesn't rest in peace, but is transformed into an evil being that tortures all the living? This is certainly what will happen to you if you have watched series like Emily in Paris, in which cases there is nothing more we can do for you. I'm sorry to say. But the Strigoi aren't just bloodsuckers. They can also cause all kinds of misfortune, crop failures, disease, epidemics, drought, and so on. They are closely associated with rural and forest communities, where they are believed to live in tombs or dark caves. Their appearance is that of a hairy humanoid, with pale eyes, a tail, and fangs. They sometimes take the form of animals, such as dogs, cats, owls, or bats.
They can be of two types, Strigoi 7 and Strigoi Mori.
Strigoi are witches or warlocks who have vampiric powers but are still alive. They can leave their bodies at night and attack their victims, or send their pets to do the job. Strigoi Moji, on the other hand, are those who have died and become vampires. According to legend, they are more dangerous and difficult to eliminate.
How can you tell if someone is a Strigoi?
Certain signs may give them away, such as red hair, not that I'm not saying that all redheads are Strigoi, only a large proportion, unibrown eyebrows, a middle finger longer than the index finger, black fingernails or sunken navel. Strigoi are also said to be born of related parents, or to be the seventh child in a family. Another way to become a Strigoi is to die without having been baptized, married or confessed, or to have been killed by another Strigoi.
And how to protect yourself from Strigoi?
There are several ways to prevent or combat their attacks, such as carrying sacred objects like crosses, rosaries, garlic, very useful for repelling all those generally around you, or holy water. You can also avoid looking them in the eye, as they can hypnotize or bewitch their prey. Another way of warding them off is to scatter seeds, a bit like chickens indeed, with nails hidden inside. Well, not for this part of course, otherwise let me tell you you've got a big problem. As Strigoi are obsessive and can go on without counting them, when they have bitten in the nails, they start all over again. Yeah, I admit this part of the legend is really curious. I'm not really into it, but let's go on with it. It gets more interesting with the story following. But the only way to definitely kill a Strigoi is to exhume its corpse and destroy its earth. To do this, you have to wait until daylight, as Strigoi are vulnerable to sunlight. Next, drive a wooden or iron stake through it, or pierce its earth with a needle. Then burn the earth in a new pot and scatter the ashes in the cemetery. You can also cut off the Strigoi's head and bury it upside down, or burn the whole body.
Real facts.
These rituals are very old and are still practiced in certain rural areas of Romania, where the Strigoi are a feared and respected reality. For my part, I'm not sure I respect a being who kills for pleasure and counts seeds on the ground like chickens, but everyone is impressed in their own way. Tell me in the comments what you think about it. Although the authorities try to prevent these disqualifications, the villagers believe it's the only way to free themselves from the Strigoi curse. Some cases have been publicized, such as that of Petra Toma, a farmer who died in 2003 and whose corpse was dug up and burned by his neighbors, who accused him of being a Strigoi. These mythological creatures are without doubt the most fascinating and terrifying vampires in existence. Their origin, nature, powers and weaknesses make them unique and mysterious beings who arouse the curiosity and fear of those who know them. Whatever the case, don't forget that Strigoi exist, mainly for those who believe in them, and that they may be closer than you think.
Genganger.
Originally from Scandinavia, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his first name, but let's call him Ginger, it sounds like it and is easy to say, is a unique type of fully corporeal ghost, usually the spirit of someone who has left something behind in their life. The ginger are often victims of murder, suicide or murderers themselves. In whatever their behavior in life, ginger are always malevolent, hurting the friends and family they have lost.
What does Genganger do?
Like most ghosters, the ginger doesn't just scare people. While lacking traditional ghostly abilities such as wall crossing and psychokinesis, the ginger spreads plagues and disease. The evil spirit pinches someone, a so-called... I'll give you the time to read this word with the pronunciation you prefer before continuing our tale. Shall we continue? Now, and the victim's skin takes on a bluish hue as the start of the spirit's infection. The flesh necroses, shrivels and dies, moving slowly towards the earth where it kills the victim. This usually happens while the victim is asleep, leaving him defenseless against the creature. In many ways, the ginger is more like a vampire than a ghost, although it doesn't feed on the living. However, it stalks its prey in much the same way, and is much more at home at night than during the day. Like the vampire, the ginger is highly intelligent, cold, cunning and restless. It also appears to the naked eye as a fully fledged human being, devoid of spiritual qualities.
And how to protect yourself from Genganger?
There are ways to protect yourself from a ginger, but most of them involve preventing the spirit from ascending. As with vampires, sacred symbols are supposed to repel the creatures, and a sacred symbol above a door will prevent the spirit from entering. A cross around the neck may prevent them from giving the dead man's pinch. Since the ginger is a corporeal spirit, closing doors and windows also works well. The fear of the ginger was once so widespread that people took extraordinary precautions to prevent it from rising. The coffin containing a person likely to rise must be carried over the church wall rather than through the church door, and must be carried 3 times around the church itself. The shovel used to dig the grave should be left in place and untouched. A pile of stones and trees should be erected where the person died. The addition of a stone to this pile brings good luck. Finally, an inscription inside the coffin should prevent a spirit from becoming a ginger.
For Brijinga, the brother engraved runes. My dear sister, please spare me. Krampus.
On St. Nicholas Eve, misbehaving children have more to worry about than getting cold for Christmas. December 6th is an important holiday in many European countries. It's the day of St. Nicholas, the bishop famous for his generosity, whose legend gave rise to the tradition of Santa Claus. However, this benevolent face has its counterpart, Krampus, a terrifying half-human, half-goat character.
What is Krampus?
Krampus, a half-goat, half-demon creature, is in charge of scaring children who misbehave at Christmas. This creature doesn't carry presents in a slate and has no ills to help him, but it does have chains and birch sticks with which he beats the bad guys and takes them to the underworld. Krampus is the opposite of Santa Claus, and according to the legends of some countries, this demonic figure is responsible for punishing misbehaving children. In various tales and legends, Krampus is described as the Christmas devil or the demonic elf. Descriptions of his appearance are often extremely frightening and taken more from the worst nightmares, a half-goat, half-demon thing.
True facts.
For many years, the Catholic Church suppressed the presence of Krampus and banned him from Christmas celebrations. Moreover, during the Second World War, fascists accused the Krampus figure of being an invention of the Social Democrats. In the region where the tradition of Saint Nicholas took root, notably in northwestern Europe, Belgium, Luxembourg and the Netherlands today, Krampus became a companion of the saint who brought gifts to good children on the night of December 5th. Those who had been naughty were punished by the Krampus with varying degrees of severity. Some were simply beaten with a birch branch in the hand, while the worst were carried off in a basket to be eaten, drowned in the river or dragged off to hell. A threat that, for those who believed in it, must have been more effective than a miserable lump of coal. Many say that Krampus goes out at night to look for children who have misbehaved or are naughty. Krampus begins his search for bad children on the night of December 5th, the day he starts roaming the streets of every city in the world, playing a campaign and dragging chains. In fact, for 2 weeks, the beast travels the cities ringing a bell and dragging chains to frighten people. you have children or nieces and nephews you misbehave. Tell them about campus and have fun traumatizing them with the help of a bell. Thank you for watching, see you next Friday on this same channel. Bye bye!